Okay, welcome back to the shop. There's only one last bit of, I guess, woodworking to do, and that is get the bridge shaped so it can be mounted properly. I'll mount the bridge after the finish is on, and I'll also cut the saddle slot once the bridge is mounted. But first thing I'm going to do is put the bridge in the right orientation so that I can see how much I need to take off. The surface of this is domed in both directions. It's got a little curve in it. So what I want to do, and see how these corners are sitting up. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this masking tape off, and I'm going to put some sticky back sandpaper on here. And what I'm going to do is I want to make this flat surface, which is perfectly straight, match the curve right underneath the bridge. So you'll see here it sort of tips up. We've got about a 1/2 millimeter we got to remove from basically the center. So what we're going to do is take some 80 grit sandpaper that's sticky back, and I'll just slice off a little bit of it, and I'll put it on there. So we'll just take just a little of this, and we'll put it on here. I don't want to go too far past the bridge location because I believe it would change the contour kind of dramatically. So I've put the edge of the sandpaper right up against the line where the bridge will go, and this way I think I can work my way over to that. So it's kind of pretty close to flat over here, but as I work my way up, there's definitely a curve. So we're just going to try to get a curve in it into the bottom of it. I definitely want to flip it around the right way, and then I'll worry about the saddle slot once it's on. But so the idea is just a little bit of sanding, like so, and I think what I'll do is I'll mark it with chalk. Do I have a bit of chalk in my? I don't. I'll go get a piece of chalk, and I'll mark the back side of this, and I'll be right back. Get a chalk. Get some chalk. Get it done. Get it done, Bummer. Alright. So we'll just take a bit of chalk and mark the back of this. And basically when it's gone at the edges, when that chalk is gone at the edges, we're done. So that's that. So I'm just going to take, and I'm not sure if it's going to make much sense to go forward and backward versus side to side, but I think I'm going to do side to side here. And I'm pushing most of my pressure in the middle because that's where I want to remove the majority of the wood. And so I'm just kind of using the form itself as my guide. I think I'm going to just start up here because it's not going to be a big deal. So I'll just work like this until I meet that contour. I'm going to put a little more chalk on because I think back here I lost a bit. Now I put it in here. It's a little tiny piece. I've already misplaced stuff. No, I didn't put it away. I didn't put it in my pocket, did I? Anyways, yeah, so we're going to keep going back and forth on this until I get all of the chalk removed. Bring you back. Okay, so now we've got it set, sanded flat, or not flat, but sanded with the contour so it sits really flat on the bridge surface. Now what I'm going to do before I put the finish on, I want to make sure I get the location so I don't have to, because then I can take these lines away. To do that, what I'm going to do is use the bridge itself as my template, and I'm going to clamp it where it goes. So I'm going to get it where it belongs, and then I'm going to clamp it in place. I've got this little caul I'm going to put down inside. It's got a tiny little bit of double stick tape. I'm going to shove that down inside the hole here and use it onto so that the clamp can clear the bracing and also work as a caul to sort of back that stuff up a bit. Okay, so that's in place. Take a deep mouth clamp, very, very carefully pop that little double stick tape thing off of the dang thing. Just lost it here, so let's try this again. I'm just feeling around inside there to get it stuck to the bridge plate, that rosewood piece of bridge plate that I put in a while ago. Okay, that feels like it's where it belongs now. Okay. And then I'll see if I can gently reach in there, grab like that. We'll put this caul here. I'm going to put it back away so I can make sure I can see where my center is. I'm going to be able to line up my center line here. Try to get it as close to where it belongs right off the bat, but you know, it's not going to be easy to do completely. Okay, now that it's kind of cinching down, I want to take a feel inside there to see if, yeah, we're on it. We're good. Good. We're on the bridge plate where I want to be. That's good. Okay, that is just positioning, so it doesn't have to be that stiffly clamped. So I can shift things here if I need to, and I'm going to get take a little scrap block and my little hammer and tap things towards the heel a bit. Where are we for center? We're going to go this way just a tiny bit. And I'd like to come this way just a bit more. Let's see how we do here. Turn it just a tiny bit. Okay, I'm going to say that is right where we would like it. I'm going to just drill 2 of these pinholes as my locators. Trying to be incredibly careful that I keep the angles the same and that I don't tear anything apart here. Okay, now I've gone, at the very least I've marked them, so now we can pull this clamp out of the way gently. Okay. Pull you guys back just a tiny bit there. And I can fish that block back out of there. The clamp held it down pretty dang good, actually. Okay, good. We used the block was also our backing to prevent chip out there. So I'm just going to go back in there and feel that brace a little bit. That we landed where I'd like to. We did land where I'd like to. That's pretty good, actually. For that to be good, yeah, that'll be fine. There's a tiny little bit of chip out there I'd like to address, but I think we're okay. Alright, so there's that. Those will now be the pins I locate when the finish goes on and I scrape that off right here. Those 2 holes are what will line my bridge back up where it's gotta be. And let's make sure it's going where I think it's gonna go. There it is. No, there's stuff. There's schmutz. There's schmutz in the way. There we go. And those will line it up again so that the bridge is positioned where it should be. And yeah, that'll take care of that. Cool. So now we are set to mask things off for the finishing. So let me pull you out and we'll get ready to do that. Alright, I'm pretty sure we're ready to consider finish time. So we'll take the nut out, the nut blank out, the saddle blank, the bridge. These things don't get finished. And then the fretboard, I need to mask that off. And I have to come up with a judgment call here about the headstock plate. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it, so I'm going to mask it off as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it and mask it off. The bridge, I'm torn on whether to polish it to find a high gloss or not. Can't decide. So you guys let me know, because by the time you see me start this finishing process, I will probably be about at the point where I need to make up my mind on this. So should I put a finish or polish the bridge? I don't think the bridges usually get finished, but how high should I get on this? Because I'm going to keep the fretboard polished to 12,000 grit, and not finishing the headstock, I'm going to polish it to 12,000. Should I polish this too? There. So let me know whether I should or not. I guess from a look and feel standpoint, I probably would do it, I think. Sand it as high as I can, so I probably will polish it, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Okay, so that's that bit. Now, we're at the mask off the stuff we're not going to put lacquer on. So I need to work that bit out. I'm going to mask the fretboard all the way along here. And I'll mask, well, I'm going to mask the top face anyways. I don't know if I need to mask the sides. I think I'm okay with not masking the sides. I'll just mask the top, and then we'll come from there. So let's get ourselves some masking tape. And I'll just get after this a little bit here. Bit of a backing board here and a knife, and just very gently trim that clear. Okay, so to hold on to this thing, I don't actually want to put peg holes on this one. I don't want to have strap pegs on this guitar because I don't want to put them where they go and wreck the inlays that I've got, and I just think they're ugly, and it's a small guitar meant to be played sitting down. I don't think I'll ever, and it's mine, and I won't use the straps. So instead of using strap peg holes to hang on to this thing, I'm going to use the tuning machine holes, and I've turned this little bit of aluminum down. It's got a little barrel shaft. It's tapped and threaded on one end for a cap screw, and there's a through hole here, so I can put a hook on it, or a through hole here, so I can put a, geez, you can't even see it. Put a through hole in it so that you can hook a string or something on it, and so we just put it in here. Since I'm not putting finish on the headstock plate, this works beautifully. If I were, I'd have to come up with something else. That'd be a different solution. But that way, this little pin will hold on to the headstock like so. Just hang it from the ceiling of the finishing tent or wherever, and I can get to all the sides. So that's the plan for that side. The other bit we've got to do is mask off a few more things. We'll bring you back here in just a sec. Alright, the other bit we want to do is I plan on doing a sunburst, or a burst on the front. So I want to do kind of a dark rim around the outer edge. But that means I got to mask off this. I don't want to get the darkness on this stuff. I only want it on the front. So what I think I will do, and I also don't want to get it on this part of the fret of the neck. So what I think I'm going to do, and we're going to see if this is even going to be viable, I think I will mask off this area as best I can, do the bursting, and then I'll take that mask off and we'll do the finish. But before I do that, I just remembered I have not done one last sanding, and I've still got all the lines from laying out the bridge. So we're going to go with a quick little 220 grit sand job over the whole thing again, just one more quick one, and get all the little scuffs and things out. I'm also working out how I'm going to close the mouth, close the sound hole off so that I don't get finish down in there. I may just stuff rags in it. I'm not entirely sure yet. That might be the easiest route to go, but it's going to take a lot of rags. Or I can tape something. I'm trying to figure out how to dam it off so that I don't get stuff, but I want to finish down inside there. So I'll work that out. But real quick, let's get one more final sanding going, and then I'll bring you back. So I've got a rough idea of what I'm going to do. I plan on bursting the front, but I want to mask the sound hole off, and I think I have I think I have a plan for that now. We'll see if that actually will work. So I'm going to try to get masking tape inside, spanning the sound hole as much as I can. Boy, I got some phlegm happening there. So try to get a little bit like that, and you know, cap it firm. And I'm going to leave this open so I can reach in and get to those. Maybe that'll work, we'll see. Alright, let's start getting ready to do the pole feel. Alright, I'll bring you back when I've got that ready to go. Alright, so we have a little I did some testing. I spared you a bunch of the testing of the finishing. So we're at the finishing stage. And the first thing I want to do, I've decided on my process, is to do the pore filling first. So I want to pore fill everything but the front, top, and the fretboard. So I'm going to mask off the front a bit, just a little, so I can keep the what am I trying to say? So that I can keep the I'm trying to keep the front from getting contaminated by the filler. So I'm just going to start with a single strip of tape around the outer perimeter here. Okay, now I got it all sufficiently masked. I think it's fine. That should be safe enough. I'll try really hard not to get a bunch on there. So, but first thing is, we'll get this pore filler going. I'm going to take it over and hang it up, and we're going to get the pore filler mix going here in just a sec. All right, we got our our neutral or natural colored pore filler. I'm going to make ourselves a mess first. Hey, I didn't get any on my hands though. So there's about an ounce, and to an ounce I will add, this is some dark vintage maple trans tint. I'm going to add, let's say 5 dots, 4 dots, maybe there's 2 to an ounce. Let's do 3. I don't need it too dark. I just want to darken it a tiny bit so that it's so that it is not too pale when it dries. And then we can stir this together. Might want to use a slightly larger cup in the next batch. We're going to need more than 1 ounce, so I'm just stirring this up a bit. Oh yeah, that's going to work perfectly, I think. Just darkening it up tiny bit so that it's not pale. Oh yeah, I don't have to worry about it looking wrong. And this is neutral enough still that it'll work for both the walnut and the mahogany. I did a few tests earlier. For this guitar, I have spared you the testing. But now we got a nice creamy, milky, chocolatey mocha color sort of look here that I think will do just fine. And then we'll take this over to the guitar, and I'm going to probably just move the camera to a wide view so you can see everything that goes on. Just keep it stirred nicely here. And try not to make a huge pile of a mess if I can help it, despite the tiny amount I have already blocked there. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna lid this for the second so that it doesn't dry out too badly. I'm gonna take my folded up cloth that I will use to apply it, and I'll work out my process. We're gonna move over to the guitar so you can watch that. Okay, so I'm fully prepared to have to mix up more of this because I doubt an ounce alone is going to be enough to get the back sides, neck, and headstock all covered. So prepared there. I've moved over to this side so I can just mix it as I need it. And I think the process shall be, I'm going to start wherever it's easiest. I think I'll do the bottom side. I think I can do like this on the bottom. I'm literally doing a dry run because I'm not entirely sure of the best way to do this. Yeah, I need a better way to hold it like that, maybe. I need to get some into the right places. Maybe just do this. Yeah, I think we'll be okay that way. I'm going to do the sides, I think, first, then I can hold it like this, do the back, and then I can come up here, do these, like this, and then I can come up here, do this, do a little bit of weirdness right in here just to get these guys, then I can hold it and do like this. I won't be able to hold on to it there. I'll have to hold it up here. Like so. Get some on there, get some there, get some there. Get it all into that area. Get around the headstock area, get the sides. I think I can do this, yeah. I'm just working through the steps because I don't want to have to figure that out in the middle. All right, we're gonna do this and try to keep our fingertips as clean as I can. And starting with this 1 ounce little bit, here we go. I guess it's time to begin. I'm just gonna put a little bit on there for now. Grab it on its bottom side, put a little on there. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm going to call that good. I'm literally just going to let it dry and we'll come back with sandpaper because I don't think I'm going to be able to squeegee any of that off. It's all very dry down there as well. I think that's pretty good though. It's going to come out looking pretty nice. That walnut's going to pop like crazy. It's going to look great. Alright, so we'll let this dry. Sand it. Then we'll do a shellac coat. Pull the top mask off and put the burst on. Actually, we'll sand it after. I'll pull the mask off, then I'll sand it, shellac it, then we'll do the burst, attempt to do the burst. So, yeah, gonna let this dry. Bring you back in a bit. All right, welcome back to the shop. It's been a day or two, actually. I came back yesterday and I patched a few more spots that needed some that got missed a bit. But we are now coated with the old grain filler, and it's thicker than it should be. I'm sure I should have come back and squeegeed. In my prior attempts to do grain filler, the squeegeeing attempts did not work very well, so I didn't this time. We're going to see if that's going to be a big problem or if it's just going to be, you know, a little more sanding. So I'm going to go with 220. I may break out the power sanders. I may do all kinds of stuff just to get this down to being flat, to being smooth again, and then we'll check and see if the grain is filled in enough to be ready for the next step. So I'm literally just going to get after this. I'm going to turn music on for myself, turn music on for you. It's just sanding, and it's just a lot of it. So we'll just get it going. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, coming back for a second. I tried by hand and boy, that stuff gummed it up fast. It was loading the sandpaper up really bad. So I tried power, which logically wouldn't make any better, but it got through some of the really thick stuff, but I took too many discs for my liking. So I'm back to hand sanding, and I've tried with my file card. I've got a brush side of my file card that does a pretty good job of cleaning it up, and if it's really bad, the actual metal brush does a decent job of, you know, clearing whatever the heck is on there, gumming and loading things up. But we're just going to try this. I'm going to keep going. I have lots of 220 grit sandpaper, so if I have to, it's just going to be a whole bunch of hand sanding. I'm going to pull out a bunch more that I can use and just yeah, this is an investment in time now. It's going to take some time. I should have squeegeed it off, but it didn't, so it's just going to take a lot of sanding. So we're just going to get down to it.